our rich and famous neighbor Freddie. When I was 6 years old, my dad designed and had built a big white colonial-style house with 3 stories just across the street from the city limits of Salem, Oregon. It was only 5 blocks from our old house, but it seemed like 5 miles to us kids. We were as good as in the country, we thought. The paved street ended right at our lot, and though the street, named Ben Lomond Drive, continued on and around the hill, it was dirt and gravel with no other houses on it. In fact, for a block on the other side of us, there were no houses either, because Freddie Lamport had his tennis court and one of his huge lawns filling that space. Across the street from us, on a sharp rise in the land, was the Lamport Mansion and grounds. Mr. Lamport was the richest man in Salem. We kids all knew that. He was a lawyer, senior partner of the law firm Lamport and McNary. By the time our family moved in across the street, Charles McNary had been elected senator from Oregon, so he wasn't around Salem very much. But we heard a lot about him the year Wendell Willkie ran for president. At the Republican convention that year, was it really 1940? Charles McNary was also in the early running, a dark horse candidate from Oregon. Mother was torn between her loyalty to McNary, a favorite son, and Willkie, whom she admired intensely. The whole family clustered around the radio as the convention proceeded. On an early ballot, with McNary still in the running, the vote of the Oregon delegation was challenged. This meant each delegate had to speak up and announce which candidate he was for. Freddie Lamport was one of the delegates, and when it came his turn, he bellowed out, "I cast my vote for Senator Charles L. McNary, first, last, and all the time." It was high drama. My sister was so excited she nearly wet her pants. We were so proud of our neighbor Freddie. Nobody, of course, really called him that except Dad, and then not to his face. Those were wonderful, exciting days in politics for us. McNary conceded the nomination to Willkie on the next ballot, but was then nominated as the vice presidential candidate, Willkie's running mate. Mother was so thrilled she could hardly contain herself. In the November election, Roosevelt won again, but Mother bore it in good spirits. Her boys had had their run, and she was glad for them. Freddie and his wife lived on in their mansion, although we never saw them. Dad must have, though, because for some years he would buy Freddie's 1-year-old Cadillacs, year after year. It was a good deal. Freddie only drove them to and from his law offices, and since he was a non-smoker, the ashtrays weren't even full.